in our pursuit of progress as any who would stand in our way. So once again, President Medvedev, thank you for your extraordinary leadership.
Dear colleagues, dear members of the media, I fully agree with the assessment that have just been made by my colleague President Obama concerning the fact that here in this room a truly historic event took place. A new Russia-US treaty has been signed on measures for the further reduction and limitation of strategic offensive arms. This treaty has a 10-year duration. It will supersede the START treaty, which has expired, as well as another existing treaty, Russia-US treaty, on the reduction of strategic offensive capabilities. And first of all, I'd like to thank my colleague, President of the United States of America, for this successful cooperation in this very complex matter, and for the reasonable compromises that have been achieved thanks to the work of our two teams. We have already thanked them, but let me do it once again in the presence of the media and the public. We thank them for their excellent work. And I would also like to thank the leadership of the Czech Republic, Mr. President, you, for the invitation to hold this signing ceremony here in this beautiful city, in this beautiful springtime, thereby creating a good atmosphere for the future. And I believe that this signature will open a new page for cooperation between our two countries, among our countries, and will create safer conditions for life here and throughout the world. When we worked, we aimed at the quality of the treaty, and indeed, the negotiating process has not been simple, but again, our negotiating teams have been working in a highly professional, constructive way. That has been a non-stop work, and very often they worked 24 hours a day. And that enabled us to do something that just a couple of months looked like mission impossible. Within a short span of time, we prepared a full-fledged treaty and signed it. As a result, we obtained a document that in full measure maintains the balance of interest of Russia and the United States of America. What matters most is that this is a win-win situation. No one stands to lose from this agreement. I believe that this is a typical feature of our cooperation. Both parties have won, and taking into account this victory of ours, the entire world community has won. This agreement enhances strategic stability and at the same time enables us to rise to a higher level for cooperation between Russia and the United States. And although the contents of the treaty are already known, let me point out once again what we have achieved, because this is a very important thing. 1,550 developed weapons, which is about one-third below the current level. 700 deployed ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and sea-launched ballistic missiles, and heavy bombers. And this represents more than twofold reduction below the current levels. And 800 deployed and non-deployed launchers for such missiles, as well as deployed and non-deployed heavy bombers, which again represents a twofold reduction below the level that existed prior to the signature of this treaty. And at the same time, each party can use its own discretion to determine the makeup and structure of its strategic offensive potentials. The treaty also includes provisions concerning data exchange. We are quite experienced now in these two matters with my colleague, and we are great experts on these matters, perhaps the greatest experts in the world. And the treaty also includes provisions concerning conversion and elimination, inspection provisions and verification provisions, as well as confidence-building measures. The verification mechanism has been significantly simplified and much less costly as compared with the previous START treaty, but at the same time it ensures a proper verification, irreversibility and transparency of the entire process of reducing strategic offensive arms. We believe, and our American partners are well aware of that, this is our open position. We believe that the treaty can be viable and can operate only provided there is no qualitative or quantitative increase in the ABM capabilities, something that could, in the final analysis, jeopardize the strategic offensive weaponry of the Russian side. This is the gist of the statement made by the Russian Federation in connection with the signature of this treaty. The main task on the post-signature period we regard as achieving the ratification of the treaty, as is mentioned by my colleague, Mr. President of the United States, and it is also important to synchronize the ratification process. Our American partners, as I understand, intend to proceed quickly to present this document to the Senate for ratification. We also will be working with our Federal Assembly to maintain the necessary dynamics of the ratification process. By and large, we are satisfied with the work done. The result we have obtained is good. But today, of course, we have discussed not only the fact of signing this treaty, we have also discussed a whole range of important key issues of concern to all the countries. Of course, we could not omit the Iranian nuclear problem. Regrettably, Iran is not responding to many constructive proposals that have been made, and we cannot turn a blind eye to this. Therefore, I do not rule out the possibility that the Security Council of the United Nations will have to review this issue once again. Our position is well known. Let me briefly outline it now. Of course, sanctions by themselves seldom obtain some specific results, although it's difficult to do without them in certain situations. But in any case, those sanctions should be smart and aim not only at non-proliferation, but also to resolve other issues, rather than to produce a humanitarian catastrophe for the Iranian people.
Мы будем действовать и политико-дипломатическими методами, которые выработаны шестеркой. Естественно, обсуждение этих вопросов будет продолжено. Весомым итогом нашей сегодняшней встречи я бы назвал продвижение по пути формирования нового качества отношений с Соединенными Штатами Америки. Об этом только что президент Обама сказал, которые учитывают и наши взаимные интересы, и основываются на предсказуемости. Действительно, в этом плане заключенный договор помогает выйти на новую дорогу. Ну и, конечно, немаловажно, я не могу об этом не сказать еще раз, у нас действительно сложились очень хорошие личные отношения. Возникло то, что принято называть личной химией. И это, как мне представляется, помогало достижению соглашения.
Active contact should not only be between the presidents, it is of course important by itself, but presidents do not address all the issues that have to be tackled by executive structures. Therefore, contacts on working level should be maintained on all levels, and we have a very functional.
А это госсекретарь Соединенных Штатов Америки и министр иностранных дел Российской Федерации передали нам свои результаты работы. Почти все 16 групп, которые мы создали, уже провели свои заседания, определили приоритеты работы на ближайшие годы. Нас это радует. Повестка дня насыщена конкретными проектами. Сегодня мы действительно говорили об экономике, а это, на мой взгляд, самая запущенная сфера в российско-американских отношениях, потому что по стратегической стабильности, по безопасности мы находимся в непрекращающемся таком диалоге, а по экономике нам необходимо двигаться вперед. И я очень рад, что в ходе этого обсуждения мы говорили о развитии высокотехнологичных проектов, создании так называемой новой высокотехнологичной умной экономики, что возможно только в условиях трансграничной кооперации. И в этом плане у нас также неплохо налажены контакты. Сейчас главное материализовать эти обсуждения в конкретные договоренности. Мне бы хотелось, чтобы это произошло в ходе моего визита в Соединенные Штаты Америки, который состоится летом этого года, о чем мы также с моим партнером договорились. Я убежден, что все, что было сделано до сих пор, это лишь начало большого пути. Мне бы очень не хотелось, чтобы отношения между Российской Федерацией и Соединенными Штатами Америки сводились только к вопросам ограничения стратегических наступательных вооружений. Хотя на нас лежит особая ответственность, и мы ее с себя не только не снимаем, мы готовы продолжать движение по этому пути. Но мы должны работать и в других сферах, что крайне важно и для наших народов, и для ситуации в мире. И сегодня, как мне представляется, сделан в этом направлении очень важный шаг, который укрепил доверие и взаимопонимание между нашими странами. Я еще раз хотел